going on, Matt? Jeff Carswell.
Matt Cronus, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So we're going to do a little lesson today.
Okay.
Just going forward, just tell me a little bit about your golf game. Give me a little background on, play college golf at all. If you got any injuries or anything that, might cause some pain or some swing falls. Go ahead.
I'm 28,
Okay.
assistant pro here at Eagle Ridge.
Right.
Grew up playing played high school golf all 4 years, and then I went to Brookdale Community College, played 2 years there, and then I moved down to Florida and went to the golf academy and playing there. About a 2 handicap.
Okay.
I tore my ACL 2 years ago playing basketball.
Right or
So
left?
my right knee.
Right knee,
With
okay.
my back knee, so it doesn't affect it too much. Sometimes after I walk 18 holes, it's a little sore. Swing-wise, doesn't really affect me too much anymore.
Okay. All right. About your golf game, when it's going well, what's the ball flight look like?
When I'm striking it well, pretty much play a draw. With my irons, driver seems to be a draw. With my wedges, I hit a little cut.
Okay.
Might be coming over the top.
Sure.
I'm 6'5", so I'm a little taller. Might get a little steep, but pretty much when I'm hitting it pretty good, it's a slight draw.
All right. And what about when it goes bad?
When it goes bad, it's either a pull or a snap.
Okay.
With the driver, snap hook.
How's that one?
Hit that well.
Hit that one well?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. We'll call that a day there.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Thank
Good
you,
stuff.
Jeff.
No problem. So just, a couple drills to work on.
Yep.
Is trying to, once you feel something where we're getting a little thin,
Yeah.
focus on that hand staying low through impact. As soon as you make one thin ball, or you strike one thin golf ball on the range, hit a couple almost little punch shots. So those hands stay low, everything kind of, that posture, everything's staying down. That's going to take away that toe hit, cause you to kind of sometimes flip it. And then that other thing is, as you address it, you want to figure out just getting off that right side of their leg. So take a couple rehearsals, get those hands and knees. Again, grip staying low, kind of our main thing. Once that grip comes up high up this way, it's a lot easier to come across it and hit that ball hard left. So, all right, work on those couple things. I'll see you next week.
Thank you very much.
All right. Hey, Matt, welcome back. Good to see you again. So we covered a little bit of iron swing last week. We're going to do a little short game today. So we'll start off with some putting, and then we're going to head over and do some chipping and pitching. We're here at Eagle Ridge on number 10. Our putting green, unfortunately, is closed right now. It's a little chilly out, wintertime. But if you want to go ahead and roll a few putts to get started, just going to watch your stroke a little bit, see where we can make changes. Before we actually get going, just give me a little feedback about your putting. Confident or a little lacking confident, or?
My game, I think putting's my most confident part of my game.
Sure.
I feel confident with the stroke. I don't really tend to really veer off too much. I feel like putting is where I save my game. That's where I save all my strokes.
Okay.
Most important part of my game.
Right.
So I'm pretty confident. I mean, if you see anything, that'd be great.
Yep.
But I'm pretty confident with my
As
stroke.
far as misses, do you tend to miss high side, low side?
I tend to, I think, if I
Or left
was
or
going to
right?
miss, I'd miss left. So I
Miss
kind of
left?
maybe pull it a little bit.
Sure. And then as far as tempo, do you normally hit it firm, or you play less break and hit it firm, or are you more of a dive into the cup?
I kind of like to hit it firm.
Okay.
I have a little bit of a pop stroke.
Sure.
So I do like to hit it firm, kind of jam it right into the...
Okay, cool. All right, go ahead, roll a couple. We'll take a look here. So just to wrap up, we touched on a little bit of putting, a little bit of chipping. Putting, we gave you a few drills. You got the club laying down there. That's going to be just to kind of help keep your hands out in front of you instead of that pull left when your shoulder pops up.
Right.
The other thing is that, just like we said, keeping that left shoulder a little lower where you're feeling as if you're pushing it with your right hand instead of hitting it and coming up and out of it. So that's when you get the skip. You can hear it as soon as you hit it.
Yep.
Chipping across the board was pretty good.
Yep.
Just keep it lower. Try and get into play around the golf, and as a practice round when you're out there, just take, if you're in a position where you pull sand wedge, try hitting it with a pitching wedge. If you pull a pitching wedge, try hitting it with a 9er. Just take one club with a little less loft.
Okay.
But again, the uphill, what we want to focus on anytime there's uphill or we got a lot of room to work with, is letting that toe of the club just slide past the heel, just to create that little bit of overspin to help the ball dig and get to the hole there. Downhill, a little more difficult shots. Take a couple practice swings that way just to kind of set you into the shot to ensure that you're going to get clean contact. And then you know, try taking that right hand over the top a little more, just to kind of soften it so it's not going to run out as much.
Okay.
So, all right. Next week we're going to do a little bit of drivers.
Okay.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Thank you. Beautiful. A little snow melted away from our lovely snowstorm the other day. But we're going to cover so far. We did full swing iron, full swing. Well, we're going to do full swing driver today, and then we also did some putting and chipping. So we're going to go ahead and hit some balls with the driver today. Talk a little bit about transitioning this swing from here out on the golf course, and just make a few tweaks here and there. You said in your reviews earlier from the first lesson that typically hit driver pretty well, but tends to be a little less. You know, the miss seems to be less. You know, so we're gonna see what moves you can make there. It's probably gonna be pretty similar to what we talked about with your iron swing. But sometimes people swing from the club based on going the driver 350 change. You know. So let's go ahead here. We'll rip a couple of the drivers. I'm gonna just watch the first few swings, and then I'll jump in and move you around a little bit. But that's kind of how I'd like you to take practice through. You know, so
the range.
Have some days where you come up, you know, and you're working on that swing thought of down, out, and around, you know, or you're working on just strictly your takeaway. That should be priority number one right now, because once that goes quick and takes off, that's everything else is kind of out the window at that point. So you know, spend some time, come up to the range, and focus on just hitting, you know, 6 or 7 golf balls, and just that tricep touching your side, letting that club face open up, swinging all the way through, change club. Do that with every club. Next time you come out to the range, play around a golf. Same thing. Make that your swing thought every time you're on the range. Or on every swing when you're playing that mental round of golf. Next time you come out, you know, focus on something different. It might be that getting to the left side that we talked about. Same thing. Next time you come up, that's your only swing thought. Once we get out on the golf course, you know, like to probably have one swing thought seem to work really well with the driver, that just that down, out, and around kind of thought. Take your practice swings, set the club up, down, out, and around. Pull the trigger.
Don't think about it.
Right, go ahead and hit it, and pick your target and hit it. So it was great, good stuff. You know, you got a little bit to work on.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So next week we're going to do a little fitting, probably. We may do a fitting, or we may go on the golf course, depending on what the weather's like and how many people are here. But other than that, you got a couple things to work on. So thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
All right, take it easy. Welcome back.
How we doing?
Doing all right? And yourself?
Good.
Get a chance to work on any of the stuff we're doing last time?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. We're going to do a little bit of club fitting today.
Okay.
Just to kind of make sure your specs are right. I know you talked about, you know, left kind of seems to be your miss. Also a little toey. So that could be some club fitting things that we can change in there to kind of benefit your game and kind of take that, again, that left side out of the play. Also a couple swing issues that we had from last week was tend to be coming up and out of it, very upright. There might be some things that we're going to change for the length of the club too. So we already hit a couple balls warmed up, so we'll get going. What are you currently playing with right now? Kind of a pull, wasn't really a hook. You know, that was more that pull over the top there. Like you said, a little tired there. Let's call it a day here. I don't want you to start practicing some bad habits. But you know, as far as irons go, we're definitely a half inch longer. I'd love to see in some sort of a shaft that's got some steps in it. Probably that X100 in the irons there, just because you're a tall guy, you're creating a lot of leverage there. So we want something a little heavier in the irons there. But driver-wise, we're going to go opposite. We're going to go a little lighter, just to be able to get that, you know, the feeling of that club turning behind us there, and letting it drop inside where you can feel the club head a little more instead of just trying to power through everything with the heavier shaft. So take that out when you go out and play. You know, see how it goes. Let me know how it works.
Thank
Pleasure.
you. Appreciate it.
Problem.
See you next week.
Good. All right, Matt. Welcome back. So today we're going to do a little bit of a playing lesson. You know, we'll touch on some stuff around the green, but you know, mainly just kind of course management on how to work yourself around and avoid those bigger numbers. So last time when we were hitting the driver, we did a little mental golf on the range about visualizing playing 24. Because that was a hole that you said you kind of struggle on and don't like playing. So we're going to go ahead here. We're out on 24. It's a 445 par 4, straight up a hill, hard right to left slope. Go ahead and some portion of it. Just try and get into that habit of you know, playing it from the green backwards. You know,
Right.
so pins back left. Where do I want to be to get into that position? And know when to take your medicine. Know when to go for it. Like we said, you know, you kind of have a good idea on this golf course. 13 is probably not one we want to bang driver on all the time. We got lucky today,
Yeah.
where you had a little window going through there. But you know, in the future, it's too much of a risk. You got to carry it a long way to get it there. But I hope you learned a lot, you know, throughout the course of the lesson, and really
Absolutely.
appreciate all the help.
Yeah, thank you again.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.